went to Interlaken, because he was going to teach at Interlaken, and I was going along. And what do you know, when I got there, I realized I was pregnant, which was okay, except that I was pretty nauseated all the time. And we went someplace and got me a new bathing suit. It was just one piece, green, you know. And Oz thought I was just, you know, Venus de Milo. And at any rate, the Sawhills were having a party. And he told me it was a swimming party and I would wear my new swimming suit. And so off we went, him fully clothed, and me in this swimming suit. And then we got to the party, everybody there was fully clothed. And I was in this swimming suit, kind of sitting like this.
Like Miss America.
Like this. And Mrs. Sawhill said, "Would you like a shirt?" That was bad. Yeah.
Did he think it was a swimming party?
I don't know. He might have thought so.
He just liked you in the suit.
Yeah, he did. He was
I
big
don't
and...
remember that.
No, I'm sure. Yeah.
Well, I have to tell my Key West snorkeling story after that. Does anyone remember that?
Well, it was, I remember.
It's pretty, I mean, there's a, yeah, anyway, so I decided to go on this like 6-person snorkeling trip in Key West. And so I got on the boat and then we went out like 100 feet in the water, and then all of a sudden they said, "Okay, everybody, clothing optional, everybody take off your clothes." And I was like, "Oh, I don't know." And then we got to the place where they did the snorkeling, and the waves were like this, like really, really heavy. And then they said, "Okay, everybody put on wetsuits, and we're going to go and snorkel." So everybody put on wetsuits, and then we got in the water, and I was like this in the water with the snorkel, and then I was having like water going in my nose and everything, and then they said, "We're going to swim over to that reef over there," and I was like, "Well, I can't do it." And they said, "Well, that's okay, why don't you just stay there?" And so I stayed here, and then like everybody else went to the other reef, and I sat there, and the captain of the boat started throwing little pieces of bread at me, and I was like, "Why is he throwing bread at me? Is it because I have so much salt in my mouth that I'm supposed to eat the bread and it takes the salt out of my mouth?" Or, I didn't understand it, and it was terrible. And then all of a sudden all these fish came to eat the bread, and I was like, "Oh, he was throwing the bread so the fish would come to me and I could see the fish." And then finally he said, "Would you like to come back on the boat?" And I said, "Yes, please, I would love to come back on the boat." So I got back on the boat and I laid there and I was so happy to be on the boat. And then everyone else came, like the other 5 or 6 people came, and then they all looked like green in the face when they came back. And then we started leaving, and then they served us our lunch, and everybody threw up. Everyone except me threw up. I mean, so it was just like...
And they were green because they had swam.
Because they had been like doing this in the water with the snorkeling. Like it was just like super choppy.
Yeah.
And
that's not the right water to do snorkeling.
And then everyone threw up on the boat, and I was like, "Oh my God, this is crazy!" And and then we got to land, and it was the most happy I've ever been.
Well, that's like the one I went on.